سلام انسانیت، اهل بشریت. خداوند ما شما را از گذر موجودات نامعلوم و از گذر اتباع نامعلوم در امان داشته باشه. برنامه رسانه کوثر، برنامه چگونه ما میتونیم که با مردم افغانستان کمک بکنیم و نهادها و اشخاص که رضاکارانه در پروسه humanitarian هد افغانستان کار میکنن و بالخصوص کسایی هستند که سالهای قبل در افغانستان وظیفه یا ماموریت داشتن، دوباره برگشتن بر امریکا. حادثه آگست که رخ داد در افغانستان نه تنها افغانها جگرخون شدن، تمام امریکایی‌ها هم دست به کار شدن. مصاحبه با تام کنتون است که خودش رتبه نظامی داشت یک زمانی و آل تقاوتی وتران هست و در پروسه humanitarian هد افغانستان یا کمک های بشری افغانستان کار میکنن. آقای تام کنتون کی هست، از کجای امریکا هست و چرا علاقمندی داره که مردم افغانستان کمک بکنه، این از زبان خودش میشنویم که بعد از یک دقیقه بعد اونها خواهد آمد و مصاحبه خواهد داد. فلحاظا بعضی معلومات هایی هست که اینا برای شما شریک میسازه که شما چگونه میتونین که با پروسه های Evacuation یا کمک های مواد غذایی یا کمک های بشردوستانه دسترسی پیدا بکنین و این نهادها چگونه به مردم افغانستان در کابل و دیگر ولایت‌ها کمک میکنه، اینا معلومات خواهد داد. و همچنان ایمیل ها و نمبرهای موبایل که از طرف طالبا ایجاد شده و مردم میخواهد که شکنجه بکنن، اینا درباره از معلومات خواهد داد و کسایی که کلاهبرداری میکنن سر افغانها. آقای تام کنتون در لاین است. Yeah, hi, how are you doing? Nice to see you.
سنگای.
Yeah, جوری بخیری.
جوری بخیری ها?
Yeah. It's my honor to have you today on the show on KauserTV about Afghanistan. So we are doing an interview of American veterans who love Afghanistan, who still love people and do help Afghan people. Yes. So I saw your all LinkedIn information. What amazing jobs are you doing for Afghan people? So we are going to ask you why you're so interested for Afghanistan.
That's a great question. I am a retired U.S. Army major, civil affairs, and my wife is also a civil affairs major, and she got me a deployment to Coast in 2010, 2011.
Wow, major.
So I spent 9 months in Coast, and it was at the same time very good and at the same time very bad. I got to understand Khosti people and Afghan people, and from then, after I came back from 2011, I didn't have really any connection with anybody for, I should have said 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And then my wife and I were on vacation here where we live in Germany in July or something. And the whole thing started with the Biden administration said, oh, we're leaving Afghanistan. It will be 6 months or 1 year before everything goes crazy. And the very first thing I did was I went on LinkedIn and I said, no, it will be 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Now, I do not like being right, okay?
Yeah.
But I was exactly right. It was about 4 days. Before we finished our vacation, the flights had started from Kabul back to here. And just so you know, I'm in Germany.
Yep.
I live in Germany. I live about 15 kilometers from Ramstein Air Force Base.
Wow.
So I'm retired, but my wife is still wears the uniform in the reserve. When we were on vacation during that time, there was the Army Reserve said to my wife, "You need to come back here and start working." So we came back directly. We stopped our vacation. We came back to our home, and she put on her uniform and she went and she worked for Satash 19 days, uh, like 14, 16 hours every day.
Wow.
And I also, even though I'm retired, I was every single day for 8 weeks
Wow.
working at the camps in the tents, just like my wife. And I was also driving translators. I was taking them from their hotel and back and forth from the hotel to the Ramstein and to Rhine Ordnance Barracks. So that's how I got involved in that.
So tell us about your experience and from host province. How you find out the host province on that time, and what you was thinking on that time, 2010. What will be
So
happening in the future of this province and these people?
yeah, yeah. I I will say I don't have any idea about Afghanistan in general. Nothing. I
Mhm.
only know host province. Okay,
Yep.
because I went from the U.S. to the airport in Kabul or whatever it is, and then directly on helicopter to host. Okay, and
So do you find good things on a host province culture people, or they
I
behave good
loved
on
it.
that time with you people with you or
I
not?
loved I loved host. It was great. From I will say, because when you're driving in a car or in a army truck, it's like sand and rock and blah blah blah. But when you're in the helicopter driving flying over, you see how is everything green and beautiful. And in that time for me, I thought, wow, this is really really nice. I liked it. And I had many dinners, many lunch, many meetings with host people and with district governor and provincial governor. And yeah, every day, every single day for 9 months, I was with host people.
Or that language people and your local workers are still contacting you from host province to help them or not?
Kulyom, every day.
What they wanted from you, what they
They
asking
want
you
they
major
want
thing.
to men. Well, okay, from host, I will say only two because I had two interpreters,
Mm-hmm.
and one I think is not alive,
Oh my
and
God. Since
the other one, his brother was killed, and his mommy and daddy say, please don't go. So he's quiet. But I talked to the other one, yes.
so, what do you think about Afghanistan crisis? What will be the end of the history for Afghanistan? Because humanitarian help and everyone come up. How we can help that people who got stuck in Afghanistan, they need help, and if somebody help them from US, which sources we should contact to send their help?
Sahih. I apologize. I don't speak Pashto, only Arabic and English. So
It's okay.
I'm answering in Arabic. But the answer to your question is maybe two parts. The first part about what is the future, that future is not clear because I will tell you right now, I'm talking to US Department of State, US government, and like 6 different organizations, and no country is giving visa right now for Afghans. So the only way an Afghan can leave now is if they already have a visa for some certain country, right? So, which it's not good. I will tell you that here in Germany, wait, before Germany, we in August we removed maybe 124,000 Afghans,
Yep.
and here at Ramstein we had 35,000 total. And almost all of those went to the US, but
Wow.
the US only has تسعين ألف 90,000 visas. So 124,000 Afghans, 90,000 visas. So
It's a big gap.
it's a gap, right?
Yeah.
That's a
So
big problem.
you said that I was doing the public awareness and running the show since June when I find out the Kabul is going to be collapsed on the hand of Taliban. And every I have a shows and public awareness for Afghan people. Destroy your document. Do not answer this fake emails. Do not answer this fake calls. And there is some other people came out who are using the name of SIVs and evacuation and how to fill up your form. So I was doing all that information up to July. Then on July, I got information from the Mojar of Pakistan that the Taliban's already in Kabul and they got active. So they are looking after the linguists and the people who work with the NATO. So when I did that public awareness on that time, even I informed the government of the United States, I told them that this thing is going to be happening, we should be ready. So the crisis happened.
Yes.
But the main question is, which Afghan and Afghan American and American citizens and European citizens are so worried about it. The evacuation happened. And some of the people who are in watch list and blacklisted are the people who committed crime and they're not allowed to be in Europe or United States. They got evacuated, but the eligible people are still stuck in Afghanistan. So how we can bring the eligible people and the people who stole their identification came to United States? How we can do that?
My answer has two parts. The first part is about the bad people who evacuated, okay? I can tell you only from a Germany perspective, from Ramstein Air Base, every single person who came off the airplane, every single one had a full biometric scan and they were compared to the database. And you know, it's like football. You have yellow card, red card, right?
Yep.
So yellow card, we kept them here, do more research. But red card, we sent them to Kosovo.
Wow.
For more
information.
Questions. Yeah. So that's the part about the maybe the bad people. And the other one, what was the second part? Was about
the people who stole the identification. And because before on May, June, they opened a public awareness, said if anyone have SIV cases, they can send us their documents and they stole their information.
Right. So the SIV process is very careful and very specific, okay? If they have SIV, they should have already in their passport, they should have a foil sticker, which links to their biometrics.
Wow.
Now, there are so many people who they will say, oh yeah, I have SIV. No, they only apply for SIV. They don't have the foil. They don't have the, or we say KBL number, Kabul
KBL,
number.
yeah.
Right. So I have maybe 100 or 200 people in my phone who are telling me I have SIV. No, you don't. You don't have a KBL number. So if you don't have KBL number or foil, then you're at the back of the line, right?
The back of the line.
So that's a problem. But, and another example, like for you, you're a journalist. We have so many journalists in Afghanistan that say, I'm a journalist. I want to come out. Please help me. They don't have any visa, nothing.
Yeah.
No country, I'm telling you, no country is taking any Afghans if they do not have a visa already. Now, that might change in the near future. I don't know. But right now, if you say to me, hey, Thom, please take me to any place, Erbil, Iraq, Portugal, anything like that. My only question is, do you have a visa for that place? They will say no, and I will say, Tashakur, masalama.
Wow. So the people who are the economy collapse happen. And I know
Yep.
Mojar, you work in civil affairs, and I work also as embedded journalist in the Army and Afghanistan, U.S. Army and Special Forces.
Okay.
So how we can help Afghan left behind people who are struggling with the economy right now?
Okay.
Is there any way we can send a return head to them or not?
Absolutely, there's a way. If you want, when you do the edit, you can put my email or some information about me. I'm working with 3 different groups.
Mhm,
One of them is called freedombirds.org.
mhm.
And I am actually the logistics manager for Freedom Birds. We are moving money from the US into Kabul to a logistics provider, and we are feeding families every day in Kabul with that money.
Wow, I
Yeah,
really
every day.
appreciate for that. That's
The
great.
other, the other good news is even though maybe Western Union doesn't work, MoneyGram works every day.
Wow.
So I am supporting personally, I'm supporting 3 families every month with MoneyGram. I send $200 to every family and they go to the Azizi bank or whatever bank and they take the money and halas, they're good.
So you mentioned about the journalists and civil society activists who left behind. Most of the people who came to United States and Germany, and they're saying that I am a journalist or I was a civil society activist because I worked 14 years as an embedded journalist,
Yep,
intelligence researcher. At the
yep,
same time, I was a civil society activist. Like from 100%, I didn't recognize 75% of that people. They came with a fake document in the United States.
you're
So
correct.
how we can help the people who left behind and tell the United States government, hey, the people who evacuated, they are not eligible. Even they're not a journalist or civil society. What we can do on that case?
So I will say we can help them 2 different ways. One way is nice and one way is not so nice but honest, okay? The not so nice way, but even its honest way, is we will tell them if you don't have a visa, if you don't have SIV, if you don't qualify for a visa, we cannot help you right now.
Uh-huh.
We cannot. All right. Because the problem about that is even if, for example, if you and me, we make a list of Yani 300 journalists and activists, none of them have a visa, okay, but we find them money for an airplane, which is $500,000 for one airplane, okay,
Wow.
for the insurance, not the airplane, but the insurance and fuel, everything. So even we find $500,000 and we find 300 activists and journalists, we will say, do you have any visa? And they will say no. And then we will say, where do we fly? We no country will allow us to we say file a flight plan. No country will do that because we have no visa. That's the first part. That's the problem. So the answer to the problem is honesty. We need to be honest with these people and say, I'm sorry, we don't have a way right now, but here's the second part. We can help you with food. That's the only thing. So if your viewers want to go to freedombirds.org and donate some money, I can tell you for a fact, even my wife will say she's not here, but every day I'm working like 10 hours on this. We are sending maybe every week $10,000
Wow.
for food. And one family, we have a standard package of, like we say, okay, 6 people, yani 6 people, food, firewood, and maybe some coal, 6 people, $300. Okay. So if your viewers want to donate, send us the money, and every single Afghani will go to, we don't take any money. Okay. Everything goes to the food.
Uh, let me ask you this question because it's so complicated. You mentioned several times on your page that do not trust any fake email addresses, which is created by Taliban. Do not trust their cell phone numbers, calls, and do not trust anyone say that I belong to evacuation organic company and I'm going to evacuate you. How these people are doing this kind of activity and how they create the same email of the State Department or use armored the companies of evacuation.
About the US government, okay, on the end of the email, it should say .gov, right? .gov, okay? On the other one, like in Germany, it should say .de, Deutschland.
Deutschland.
Now, phone numbers, I cannot say, but I will tell you that the US Department of State does not call anybody. They only work with email. And that email would end in .gov.
I know. What about the evacuation companies? They are also not calling anyone, or they are contacting with that
There
email?
are many. And I can't even say how many. There are like, okay, so I will tell some names, okay? I have a list. 1 second. So, okay, I will tell some names. Operation Sacred Promise, Lifeline Foundation,
It cut off.
Express.
Sorry, it cut off. I couldn't, and internet got disconnected. Can you see me? Major?
I'm back. I'm back now. Sorry, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So Task Force Pineapple, Task Force North Star, my organization, which is Operation Freedom Birds, Flanders Fields, ACEs and Eights. It's ACES and EIGHTS, ACEs and Eights, and Task Force Argo. Those are just some.
So
another one is also ARC Plan B.
So this all companies are involved in evacuation, and they may be involved in the future too, right?
In the future, they may. That's correct. They were all involved in the beginning, but I'm telling you right now, there's nothing. And a lot of your viewers might be hearing things on Facebook or LinkedIn about, oh, my cousin went from Mazar-e Sharif and yada, yada, yada. I went to Turkey and I went to Uzbekistan. No, they're going because they have a visa and they have money.
Okay.
Okay.
So even the Taliban, or have you heard anything about the Taliban is haunting the people who work before with the international community or not?
Yes. Yes, I have. I get too many videos every day about that. It's happening.
So the Taliban is still haunting the people who work with the international community.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Do you have any last message for all Afghan people and American citizens? What American citizens and Afghan American citizens can do for Afghanistan, and what Afghan people who left behind in Afghanistan should do?
So the first thing is they can find those groups I talked about, or they can find me on LinkedIn. And I'll send you you have my LinkedIn profile.
Yep, I have it.
And so they can give money, and I can guarantee every dollar, every penny, every Afghani will go with no profit to somebody's house. Okay. That's the one thing. The other thing is, if they're Afghani and they're living in like America or Germany or France or somewhere, they should go to the local immigration office and say, oh, my cousin, my brother, my whatever is in Afghanistan. I want to sponsor them. Please, how can I bring them to this country?
Wow.
Right?
So it's work, right?
It's work. I mean, it's not easy. You cannot just get on a plane. If you have a visa for example, if you have a visa for France, okay, all you need is money and you go on the plane, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But I'm
great.
telling you, everyone is out of money. I'm out of money. Everybody's out of money. We're trying to find money. So we need your viewers to take the money from their pocket, and they need to help people.
Yeah. Okay. So next year, as UK is to start new program. Have you heard about anything about it? The UK new
No,
program.
I heard something last week, but I don't know the details.
Okay. Thank you so much, Major, and thank you for your service for Afghanistan. And it's my honor to have our veterans, our
You're welcome.
brothers in the army in the show. So people of Afghanistan should not trust any fake emails or mobile numbers.
No, no, no.
Thank you so much.
Teşekkür ederim.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Okay, auf Wiedersehen. Thank
Auf
you.
Wiedersehen. Bye.